You are rolling into metal with HellBearer. Rolling into metal.
Hello, welcome to Rolling Into Metal. I'm Joshua Reeves.
I'm Rhys.
And yeah, you got a new fucking t-shirt.
For James,
For once you're doing something different.
It's so
Slayer.
reason Slayer.
I didn't know that you like
Sure.
other bands.
Other bands actually exist.
Well, that's good because we interviewing a lot of bands, so you gotta get used to them.
Yeah, I mean, it's still Thrash metal and some Pauls, but
Yeah.
I don't know. We get it eventually.
Yeah, you just a sucker for the thrash pits, and
You have to wear some power metal for shits.
If I wear a power metal t-shirt, I know who's coming for me. Don't you?
Yeah, you're right.
We got a friend called Grayson. Hi, Grayson.
Yeah.
By the way,
And
and he loves to wind me up because I'm not a massive power metal fan. I think it's too fairy liked, but yeah, it's too Lord of the Rings-esque for me.
I think we'll find some power metal bands, though. We got it.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah. I just can't get to the high chords, and I don't think you can.
Right. I mean, I can try, but it's so awful. Right.
Have you seen Rhys on the stage? Like Rhys's metal performance ain't that?
Yeah, we
Ain't
tried.
that fucking
We
great?
tried, but and not the fail. I mean, let's run for this, suppose.
Yeah.
Anyway, we got to it.
We have got HellBearer from Manchester. Is a good friend of mine who is the drummer of this band, Sam, and yeah, been following HellBearer for ages now, and they're like a party thrash band. They love to party. And what I mean by that is like Municipal Waste and other bands that has a party thrash element to them.
I mean, right, correct me if I'm wrong, it's thrash metal, but there's a personality of death metal to it. Do we find that the imagery and things like that?
Yeah, I know from what I can tell with them that most of them, probably all of them, love death metal as well. So I think you're gonna have that influence as well.
That's right, like we got like Slayer-esque solos. And the very few like that, so yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah. Should we check them out, see what they like?
Yeah, it's perfect.
So what song are we gonna play?
Thrash metal boundaries I did.
Okay,
I think it's
play Thrash Without Boundaries. Let's see what that's about. Okay, that sounds good. Turns out that HellBearer are you anyway, so should we just get started?
Yeah, it's a bit.
Okay, cool. Thank you everyone anyway for joining Roll Into Metal. This is our what?
Is it a fifth interview?
Fifth interview, yeah. Might be fifth interview.
Yeah,
It's actually going well. And we've got a fantastic thrash local independent. I don't know what you call yourselves, but yeah. But HellBearer, I would say, excuse me if I'm wrong, but I would say you're more like party thrash. Like you have that party thrash, Municipal Waste kind of thing.
Yeah, like a slight crossover vibe.
Yeah. And it works well. So yeah, if you just want to introduce yourself, who you are and what instrument you play in the band.
Yeah, sure. So we're HellBearer. I'm Ash. I play guitar and sing for the band.
I'm Sam. I'm the drummer.
I'm Matt, I'm the guitarist.
And I'm Kieran, I'm the bassist.
Okay. First question is from me anyway. Is how did you guys form and what made you want to create a thrash like you do now? Because it's like I mentioned, it's more like I feel like that crossover vibe. But what made you want to do that? Was it you just love for it, or was it something that you just were working together and was like, oh, do you know what would be cool? let's just do a party thrash band, and put some like really good thrash headbanging into it.
So the way that the band sort of came together, I was originally from a band called Blacklist when I lived in Blackpool. And then I moved to Manchester. I met Mosh at a Metal to the Masses show. And we just hit it off immediately. And I was just like, oh, dude, you play any instruments? Because like I'm bored out here. I've got nothing to do. And Mosh mentioned that he played guitar and used to play in a thrash band. And I was like, well, perfect. And then eventually Mosh introduced me to Sam. And then that was sort of the core lineup for a little bit, with a sort of revolving door of bass players. And then eventually we saw Kieran was looking for a new project to work on. So we dragged him in, and now we won't let him go. He's ours.
Close to a year ago now.
So I was listening to our today, that you first started them, but you're obviously a thrash metal band. Do I detect a hint of death metal in it? I mean,
Yeah,
is death metal a part of your influences?
there's definitely a huge like injection of death metal to our stuff. Me personally, as I was growing up, I was really into like Black Sabbath and Judas Priest at first, which dragged you onto bands like Metallica and Megadeth. But then, you interact with things like Cannibal Corpse and Morbid Angel and like Dying Fetus, and like you can't hear that and not immediately be like, "That's sick. I need to put a little bit of that in what we're working on." Like songs like "Suck Dry."
Yeah, I remember like the way Suck Dry came about is I was just having a fiddle about in my bedroom, but I'd just gone through a massive binge of listening to Death albums back to back, and I fiddled around, made a riff, and I sent it off, and they loved it, and now that's how we have Suck Dry.
That's awesome.
I mean, yeah, I certainly detect the hint of Slayer in there also. I mean, you
Yeah,
know, Slayer-esque guitar
Yeah.
solos, right?
yeah. Slayer is like we oftentimes, if we're sort of every band, I think, have these conversations, and if they're not, they should be. Of like Pie in the Sky, which band do you want to be compared to? Which band do you want to be like sort of seen as like the next version of? And for us, that's Slayer. We generally, I think I speak for everyone, just love the intensity of Slayer. They never really had like much of a gimmick. It was just go out, kick everyone's face off, and then just walk out. Like, and that's like such a great like attitude that Slayer brought to the table.
Yeah, no, I think Slayer is a very good way of being that band that you want to have that massive influence on. From what I've heard and stuff like that, it's more that different sound as well. That you're not repeating yourself with other bands, which is great. You're bringing a new sound in, which is fantastic. And I remember when I believe it was you, Sam, that sent me the single Thrash with No Boundaries, and it was just like, wow, that's fucking cool. I hope these guys played Bloodstock one day. So yeah, are you doing Metal to the Masses this year?
Yeah, we're actually in the Manchester heats. So our heat is on the February 25th. So if anyone's listening, they want to come down, come please, please come.
Oh yeah.
We need all the support we can.
If anybody's in the Manchester area, yeah, just check
Yeah,
these guys out.
come see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really do it, right?
Obviously, it's a long way for us.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
we'll try.
Yeah.
I mean, it's definitely got a personality to you. If I listen to you, I know it's HellBearer. It's definitely distinctive, right?
That's kind of one thing I feel like we've tried to kind of push in is to try and sound unique, try and have our own sound by just bringing loads of different styles from everywhere and making an amalgamation of thrash, and it works.
Yeah, and it also seems like if you all connect together as like when I see you all together on Zoom now, is that like you all seem like we just want to have a laugh. We're just friends.
Yeah.
And you all like the youngsters like me. I would say not like this
Yeah,
old
no,
bastard
just
here.
like me, no.
But yeah, you 40 odd, didn't you?
I'm not 40 yet. Fuck it up.
Oh. But yeah, but no, that's what I love about new thrash bands. I like you've got bands like like Torture Demon, which I know you guys are friends. I know Sam's friends with, and I know whether you're friends with as well.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
We hang out with those
Yeah,
guys.
quite with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
It's just that it seems like if it's good because you've got this kind of like thrash hitting element happening again, because at one stage you will just think that thrash is dying, and it's never dying, it's growing, but it's just so localized. But it's just you need to just get your music out there and stuff.
Also, it's nice to have a British thrash because it was really happens a lot. It's been mainly American, hasn't it? So, it's good to see that English try to come into it, But, the point is to have the UK sort of version of a regular thrash. So it's changing, you can see it.
It's good, yeah, because like off the top of my head, like if we're talking British thrash bands, I can pull maybe three just out of my head, which is like Evil, Acid Rain, and Onslaught are like the three main ones that I can think of. And again, like they're huge influences to us just because on effect of them being British thrash metal, like it's something for us to listen to and be like, yeah, we need to get a bit of that in there just to make sure there's still a connection, to like the lineage of what this is. Because it sounds dumb, but like it's nice to have like a particular stamp. Like I feel like every scene has a little sort of motif that comes along with it. Like back in the day with the Swedish death metal scene, it was that HM2 pedal sound, and just the way that different scenes have slightly different sounds. I love it, man. Like it's no fun if everything's homogenous, which is kind of what like a lot of mainstream stuff is going towards now. Like everyone's chorus sounds the same. Like I don't want that. I want to have every chorus should sound slightly different, if not very different.
Yeah, and that like we mentioned is that it's so good to have a variety of different bands from different countries. I remember listening to Creative the first time. I was like, oh my god, is these guys actually German? They sound American. But it's so good that that you had like these bands out there that comes from different countries and really push their local scene and try to push their different their county to like that type of genre. And it seems like Manchester's got such a big hit right now, such a big crawl-in for that type of genre. So I was wondering as well, in terms of your album and your single and stuff, was that a scary moment for you? Like obviously, with in terms of thrash metal not being as big as it was years ago, was that a scary moment for you of your fans and stuff, and knowing that would this grow?
I suppose sort of. I don't really. I'm not sure about the rest of the dudes, but like, at least from my point of view, when I write a new song and I'm like, okay, we're gonna do this as the single, I don't really think about how the reception of it. I just really think more of like, this is a strong song. Like that's just sort of what it is. We just sort of pick songs that we think are strong enough to stand on their own as like, this is a good reflection of what the band is right now. And then we put it out. I don't really think about like the scene. In my opinion, thrash has always kind of been strong. We had a bit of a wobble around like the early 2000s, but it kind of kicked straight back in. Like there was still bands around, like Lazarus AD was like a really good like upshoot for a hot second in the early 2000s. But I'm going to shut up for a sec because I've spoken far too much in this interview.
Yeah, I think when it comes to releasing music, I'm always in the back of my head getting paranoid about, is the mix good enough? Will people like it? I always like everyone's their own, was it worse critique, that kind of thing. And yeah, like especially with the first album, because I think at this one hand, I think maybe we did rush it, but it was the whole thing of trying to get music out there. But at the same time, I'm actually proud of it, like with certain songs, and yeah, it's just I think it's a solid album. With the future music as well, it's gonna get a lot better. And I mean, the most important thing is we're all on the same page.
Yeah.
I think it's like a running start anyway. It's a really, really good start there with that album. I think you're gonna improve on that. But you know one song, Zoo Cyclone. So
Yeah.
what was that? When did you name it that?
So Zoo Tycoon, the story behind that song is Zoo Tycoon was, I think, the second track I wrote because the first HellBearer album started with like I'd written Thrash Without Boundaries sort of before the band, like right before I met Mosh, and then I met Mosh and then sent him a demo, and then after that I started writing Zoo Tycoon, which was basically just I was thinking about what's something strange I can write a song about, and then someone was like, I think I was watching like a Zoo Tycoon video, and the guy was like letting the animals out, and he was like killing all the people, the attendees. There we go. He was killing all those guys, and I was like, that'd be kind of a fun idea to write about. So I just wrote this song about inheriting enough money to buy a zoo and then just killing everyone in the zoo. I thought, yeah, this is a fantastically macabre thing to write about.
Yeah, it just felt randomly random.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of the band have ADHD. I'm pretty sure all of us have
Yeah.
a little bit of it at least.
I agree.
So we tend to just sort of just say random things to each other and just be really sort of free creatively and then see what comes out, and what seems to come out is a HellBearer album.
It's like that on our group chat, every morning, get like a random voice note going, oh, he's up, good morning.
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Best for talking all the time, 24/7, to be fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a non-stop stream since we've started the band. It's like most bands just talk for business, and I've known a few friends that have been in bands in the past who just speak for business. Whereas with us, it is just a constant stream of messages. We're just genuine friends that want to make music.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. Like what I mentioned earlier about you've seen your guys now and seen you all as friends and stuff. That's the best way it is because like I said, you grow together then, and you all can gripe that element together, and those ideas together, and maybe one day you probably write a song about WhatsApp messaging. Who knows?
I think we actually we do have a social media song on the next album. So
Okay.
I guess we've already done it.
Cool. I love that. I want to also ask you guys as well, if you could ever tour with anyone current now that's active, who would you tour with and why? And I want to start with Sam, if that's right.
I'd say Zentrix, because, well, they're one of our influences. Actually, there's a song on For Those About to Bear Hell, the first album, called Persistence Through Pestilence, and it sounds like a Zentrix ripoff. Like the main riff. So there's a song on Bury the Pain called There Will Be Consequences. It's that kind of riff and that kind of feel. But it goes off into a different direction for us. So
it's that kind of like stomping on the beat kind of thing. It's so constant and consistent.
Yeah,
it's like a punch in the face. That song is just a punch in the face. Like if you're in the crowd, you can imagine it to get a little bit more rowdy after we play Persistence, because it is just punchy staccato riff.
We always seem to play it faster live than on record every single time.
Yeah,
it's
it's getting progressively faster
every single time.
Yeah, but in terms of bands, I can go on for hours with bands, but I think the main, I'd say three are Zentrix, Onslaught, and gotta say Anthrax.
I mean, it's definitely good to have the influence of the all-time great thrash metal bands here, right?
Yeah.
Like how this new generation can grow, and how the population of the music has changed over time,
Yeah, I mean, it's always like, especially with songwriting, you always have like something that may sound similar to a certain song, but when you change the feel of it, it's like, oh, actually, this is a different song. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like Anthrax, BNONO, and I just butchered the
Yeah.
song title.
Sorry.
Yeah, you know what I mean, don't you? BN
Yeah.
NO.
Yeah.
It's got a behemoth, conquer and all.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you definitely pinched that. You definitely pinched that. And
Yeah.
I was showing you that the other day.
Oh,
When
yeah, you can see it.
yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, what about you, Ash and Kieran and Mosh? What about you guys? Like, what is there any bands that you would want to see that Sam mentioned that could potentially tour with you?
So there's a story attached to this, like a lot of things we talk about because we just don't shut up. We actually met Municipal Waste after a show, and showed them like demos and stuff, and like they gave us patches and stuff like that. So I think Municipal Waste is like up there immediately. Like,
I mean, I got them tattooed on my arm. It is
yeah,
a dream to play them. I like signatures on my arm forever.
But what like,
Unfortunately, I wasn't there for that.
yeah, that was before you. That sucks.
I was gonna say, well, you were safe, Kieran, because they probably fucked them all up.
Beer that they released, it was 8%. It was most definitely a rough one.
Yeah, that was a heavy night. That was.
So what about you, Kieran?
I'm not really too sure. I mean, I've got like dream bands I'd like to play with. It could maybe be potential in the future, hopefully. Like Testament, I'd love to play with them some point. Depends if they'd have support slots open, I guess. And another bigger one, I'd probably go for Gojira. Just they're one of my biggest influences in terms of like how I've expanded my music taste.
That's cool.
Well, personally, I'd say probably Exodus, because one of my favorite experiences ever being like at a show was Exodus. It's just they've got that much atmosphere that is just dream. That is a number one dream to play with Exodus.
The pits are insane as well.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Those pits killed me. Me and my best mate Finch were leaving that pit, literally arms around each other, both limping, trying to get back to our camp.
Yeah.
It didn't help because of the heat wave at Bloodstock in like what 22.
It was that time, was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was there at that, and I was actually down the front with Rain of Fury ex bassist Paul
Yeah.
with me, and we were actually headbanging to the Tostic Boss, which was awesome. So
That's good. That
was the show that broke my glasses. I was like, I'm not going to break my glasses this Bloodstock. And then they played Strike of the Beast and I just destroyed them. They just disintegrated off my face.
I mean, we all happened to be at the exact same show before we knew each other back in 2020 when they were at Academy with Death Angel and Testament.
Yeah. We all went to that show.
All
right, it's my question, David. I always ask this question. I just always take the piss, but this question is your legs, and you have a variety of different answers. So, what does metal mean to you?
Metal means, well, it's my life at the moment. Like, I think ever since I heard like Iron Maiden for the first time, I've just been hooked. You know, like it's almost like when you're fishing and you get, obviously the fish gets its bait and that, it's like that.
Absolutely,
Different answers. Ash was it.
It's all in the West Midlands, which is actually the same town that Rob Halford's from. And I, as a toddler, would go around my godfather's house listening to Judas Priest and Black Sabbath. So it was sort of in me from like being a kid. So as I've like grown up, metal has been that one constant. You know, relationships fail, things go wrong. Metal is always there. like it sounds silly, but like metal is legitimately forever. Like it's that one thing in my life that's always there. So probably the same as Sam, man. Like it's everything. Sam's praying.
like that.
Yeah.
It's the metal gods.
Ross, yours it.
Well, for me, metal, the same as these, it is everything for me. I got introduced to metal by my uncle at the age of 8. He showed me Drowning Pools, Bodies, and a song off the Follow the Leader album by Korn. And since then, I've been completely hooked and new metal with my life till my 16th birthday when my mate Josh from Napier Darley started showing me thrash, and from that point on, thrash has been my life through thick and thin. Anything's gone wrong, anything's gone right, feeling happy, sad, thrash has always been there as a fallback.
Yeah, metal's always been quite a big thing for me as well, to be fair. And I've loved metal as long as I've been alive, I'd say. I don't remember the first time I even listened to it. I think it mostly started with Smoke on the Water by Deep Purple, of all songs. Used to love singing that when I was about 3 years old. Then it just developed into being introduced to Metallica, and that obsession still goes on to today. I'm one of them. Yeah, of course.
I did expect to come up with Deep Purple. I mean, that's all by most classic, mate. Classic metal.
Yeah, absolute classic. After uni and college and everything, I managed to explore much more, and metal's just everything.
It's funny, right? Because you said
Yeah.
you said the question. You always mentions this fucking question, right? And I'm
Yeah.
like, it is a good question because everybody's got a different response. But you just said it's got legs. Well, I'm like, well, I'm
Oh,
hoping
yeah,
it's got
yeah,
working
yeah.
legs because we haven't got fucking
But
working legs.
It's a
Yeah.
great question because you talk about it forever. Like it absolutely has legs. It's got more legs than an arthropod.
I definitely feel like I could go on all night.
Mm.
That just shows we all feel the same about metal, don't we, really? And so we all got similar answers in that sense, and a lot of our influences are the same as well, really.
Yeah.
I'd say so. Like, it's first discovered music. It wasn't like metal straight away. It was stuff like Michael Jackson for me, and Elvis. So, and then my dad, he always told me the story how he was Nick McBrain's drum tech for Iron Maiden for like 4 days, and he showed me what was it, Running Free live in Ullevi Stadium in Sweden, and then I got into stuff like Bullet for My Valentine, and at the time they were local for me. Didn't know they were local, thought they were American. But yeah, it's crazy what metal can do.
I think I got a lot of my bands from playing Guitar Hero and Rock Band as well.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's the same. It's just that. So the show Slayer, really.
Well, it's mad because you mentioned Elvis Presley, and my grandpa got me into Elvis, and then my dad got me into metal. So yeah, it's crazy how yeah, I guess.
Well, it's like
to now.
that early era of music, like Presley, right? Because so my stepdad like collected music. That was kind of his thing. So he had hard drives and hard drives and hard drives of like tunes, right? But it was all stuff from like the 50s through to like modern. So as a kid, I was sitting there, Richard and things like that. And then like you discover Motorhead and you're like, that's this is the same. Like that's the same stuff. So like, I don't know, man. Like anything that's like blues based is good music for me. Like anything that's got like a moving bass line, good chord progressions, and like feeling, like that is like it's all metal technically. Like go listen to like old blues tracks. There's metal in that. There's like people like properly like belting out their feelings in that stuff.
Yeah, it shows our outside influences to outside music affect metal. I think that's how it's changed throughout the years. During in terms of grunge metal or thrash metal, all these different movements and types came from metal roots.
Yeah.
So to say, I remember saying that blues created metal, I guess it's kind of like it.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, Black, like for me, is the original metal band, but they started as the polka talk blues band. Like they were a blues band, so as long as you've got that bass and like blues and jazz and stuff, like I think like that is genuinely like one of the best things you can do as like a metal player is like get a good bass in like jazz and blues.
Mhm.
Racist. Dun, dun, dun.
Well, yeah, I mean, one of my aims with playing bass in metal in general is just don't play fucking boring stuff just on one string. Like mess around a little bit, have a bit of fun. My biggest influences are like Cliff Burton. They'll move around quite a bit on the fretboard.
That's great. Because well, I think he's every bass player's influence, I guess, because he's just an amazing bass player. It's just sad to see what it could have been like for Metallica, if he obviously if he was alive now and stuff, to see what he would bring to the table and stuff. But yeah, you're right. It's more like you could hear the bass go off and like some bands and stuff. I'm like, where's the bass to? And the bass is so like low. I remember watching a band. Forgot the band's name by the way, and remember watching a band the other day, and the bass was just so like you could hear it, and it was just felt so good. It has like that funky feeling to it as well.
Yeah.
And that's what I think I love, like Living Colour as well. I'm a massive Living Colour fan.
Yeah.
I think that
Oh yeah, yeah.
that is like groove as well. And it works so well. But then also, as you mentioned about blues and stuff, I also like a bit of like funk jazz, like James Brown. And I think that sometimes that could be a bit more groovy as well. Like you want to get that, you want to like feel that in the song, and I think metal does that so good. It depends on what you fancy really throughout the day, and that's I feel like that's a good thing about metal is that we don't get with any other genre. You've got so many subgenres. You could just choose what you're feeling like and pick it from that. Then really, um, one of the questions I want to ask you is that because obviously being a new band and doing like live shows and stuff, a lot of live shows. Do you have like a ritual like before you go on stage? Like what do you have like a band ritual going on and stuff, or do you have anything like stupid like that?
Right. Let me think. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? So usually it's for me and Mosh at least, we will get a beer, and then we will stand there next to Sam, who's like normally warming up, like doing actual warm-ups, and we will panic for 5 minutes solid. and then we will have a small smoke and then come in and play. And then by the time we're on stage, we're okay. But there's a solid 5 minutes where me and Mosh just stand together vibrating.
Yeah, just like fuck, shit.
But as for like actual rituals and stuff, it's just make sure your guitar's tuned, make sure everything's where it needs to be, make sure everything is on and sorted.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's not really a lot of space in some of the venues we play to like have an actual ritual, but it's just sort of like you're on. And
I think what I try and do, I'd say about half hour we hit the stage, I sort of try and isolate myself the best I can just to clear my mind, and in my head go through certain parts of certain songs, go right, that needs to be there, that needs to be there. Just do stretches, like play with sticks, get the wrists all warmed up, and then hit the stage. Then
That's good. I'm always interested because obviously Rhys, you've been in a band before, and
Yeah.
he sounds fucking shit, by the way. But
Yeah.
yeah. If you want to check it out, it's called Twisted Sky. Yeah.
Try to know what you mean before you get on stage, and you can shit yourself, especially if it's been a event. Try to find after you warmed up and you sun check. I guess it's just sort of emotions, I think. It's very hard to look at the crowd, I find, as there are sunglasses, so you want to know it. But how do you deal with nerves on stage, like? Do you find this the same?
it depends on the show, really. Like certain shows, it sounds bad, but some shows I just don't get nervous at all. Don't know about the other guys, but When there's like big shows, like we played a Thrash festival back in November called Thrash Chester. We had like
sick.
that was a great like Shrapnel were headlining down your end playing, as well as I think Mechanized. I think Devastate were meant to be there, but they had to pull out, so they brought in was it Broken Jaw and that.
Yeah.
The main nerves for me for that show was it wasn't like the actual like lineup around it. It was really big venue. Well, to us it's big, you know. But yeah, like you got bands that we look up to that have played there. So it's almost like, wow, this is like a tick off the bucket list, that kind of thing.
It was a definite dream for me. Like for the last band that I was in, we didn't end up like releasing anything or playing any gigs. But me, I went to the Thrash Chester, the first one, and that was like a dream to play Thrash Chester. And then about like when band HellBearer, when we were recording our first single together, we ended up getting the message whilst we were all recording saying, "Do you want to be in Thrash Chester?" And it was just like a what kind of moment.
It's a no-brainer.
That's awesome. So like and I know I've been banning on about this to Sam. I really want you guys to fuel. I keep on saying to fuel, get these guys in, get these guys in. So I'm hoping you will come to me and Rhys's area one day. I really do. I probably know it's a long way, but yeah, it's worth it.
Yeah.
You can get
We're working on it. It's,
yeah, we're working on it. I think I was working on some of it yesterday, like trying to sort out. But yeah, logistically, we just got to figure it out, like what the game plan is and that. I'm making sure we play at least once this year, and then next year we'll come down as.
Yeah. And the question that I've got to wrap up myself is that before I hand over to Rhys is that like Mafia, why is your name Moshber? And I want to know the story behind it because my name's Josh the Mosh and I've had that nickname for years when I was in school. So I want to know when you had it. So I want to know who's got the trademark to this nickname.
Well, it's quite a funny story to be fair. The nickname Mosh is, and then from that, my uncle Craig ended up getting the nickname Mosh, but it ended up sticking to my uncle Craig, and everybody now knows him as Mosh. I grew up calling him Uncle Mosh, and then I told that to one of my mates, and fucking like they started talking to me, referring to me as Mosh, and then from then it stuck, and then I started going to more like shows and stuff, and people would come up to me just like and told me like after I've been in mosh pits and stuff and stage diving, saying I can see because I just love thrashing, moshing, partying.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's kind of your story,
Yeah, and that's so your uncle has actually got a mark then because I've had Josh the Mosh and well obviously my name is no Mosh. They call me Mosh on the Xbox because it's shorter, but because they call me asked to say Josh the so yeah I've had Josh the Mosh since I was in school and I've always loved the idea of going into a mosh pit and I don't know whether you guys have seen videos of me. I know Sarah, but videos of me going to mosh pits, and I love it. I love it. They're like,
Yeah.
how the fuck does a wheelchair user go in a mosh pit? And, yeah, I will get you in there one day.
Saying that, I remember Bloodstock 22. I was standing next to you just before Lamb of God came on the stage. You saw Adamant stay down the front, and then to be fair, I mean, when they came on stage, there was like air mattresses, people surfing on them, going over that way. So I thought,
Yeah, and yeah, sometimes I do get security guards trying to push me to the left and stuff.
yeah,
I managed to get a good spot and stuff, and me and my friend Jax loved it. So yeah, it was fantastic. But yeah, it's just nothing. I don't try to stop myself. Like I was in Candlemas at the front for Candlemas in Bloodstock last year, and I was like, you're not gonna fucking stop me. I want to watch Candlemas like in the front, because Candlemas is getting old now, and I was like, I don't know when I get to see him again. So I was like, fuck you all, and doing it. And you could see the security guard looking at me going, oh my God. I'm like, don't worry, just fucking move them behind me. And I was like, I don't mind if I get kicked in the head. I'm already disabled.
Yeah.
That's all right.
I mean, we always get it. I mean, we always get the front.
Yeah.
What I find about the metal community in general is they don't hate us. They always really want to make us and things, don't they? And they really do enjoy this, and that's the thing. I think that's why we enjoy like metal so much, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah. That's what metal means to us anyway.
Yeah, certainly.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Metal's so accepting. It's just, I'd say it's most accepting in terms of like music fans. I'd say metal is the most accepting out of any genre in the world,
Yeah.
from what I've seen.
Yeah, you do get those elites though.
Oh yeah.
Especially
Oh,
those
yeah,
black
yeah.
metal elitists. But
Oh,
I do love black metal, but
Yeah.
yeah, fuck you, black metal elitists.
Yeah.
It's always online as well. I feel like metalheads online get a bad rap because you're only ever going to see like the assholes. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Keyboard warriors.
yeah, that's the
Because
one.
all the nice guys are just, we're not on there. Like
Yeah.
we're
stay
not
out
arguing
of
on
it.
forums. We're like,
You're just on
forums are
fucking
old.
WhatsApp. You
Don't
are
even know.
messaging.
Yeah.
I don't even
Literally.
know how to use Discord. Like we've got some music for like songwriting and stuff sometimes. Navigating, I have no idea what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Worse with a horrible update.
Oh yeah,
It was
it
awful.
is right.
Yeah.
Really much for this. Thank you for speaking to us. Yeah, we really want to have HellBearer and Kevin get there and spread the word and things. So, have you got anything to say to our audience?
Come and see us. If we're around your area, come and see us. You will see what I would arguably say is one of the best thrash shows you can go to.
Yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
think if you come and see us at a show near you, you will have an amazing night to remember for a long time.
Yeah. Mosh pits are guaranteed, no matter what.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter where we're playing. If a venue tells us no mosh pits allowed, we say fuck you. Just do it anyway.
We don't really have
You
a
have
choice
fun, we'll have
sometimes.
fun.
Yeah.
I was going to say, just for general plugging purposes, our album is For Those About to Bear Hell, and it's out on all the streaming platforms.
Got merch.
Yeah, we've got merch, t-shirts on the what is it, Big Cartel? HellBearer.bigcartel.com.
Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, shirts, they look great. Get them.
Support us in Metal for the Masses on the 25th of February
Yeah,
in
that too.
Manchester, Rebellion.
Big one.
Awesome, guys. Thanks so much, guys. And yeah, and good luck with Metal to the Masses.
Thank you.
Come to Fuel, and yeah, we'll make sure that we will bring you some pints, and yeah, definitely come by, because I want to do because you promised mosh pits now, Sam. You got to do a Josh the mosh pit. You've got to do a Josh.
Well, we'll have more
The
than
Josh
that.
pit. There we go. We could do a Josh pit, definitely.
Yeah, I call it Josh the mosh pit. Yeah,
That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That's fantastic. Literally, as soon as we get that date sorted, and
you fucking nagged.
Oh, there we go then.
All right, cool. Thanks, guys.
Cheers.
That's what, mate.
Right, thanks for having me.
Nice to see you guys.
All right.
Bye.
See ya.